effective marketing company who's going to give you 10 pointers of what customers love most. Thank you, Martin.
Morning, everyone. Morning. My name is Martin Henley from the Effective Marketing Company, and I want to talk to you this morning about what customers love. I just want to establish a couple of things first. Firstly, why I'm interested in what customers love, as opposed to, for example, what customers want. Because my experience is what customers want isn't necessarily the best thing for them. And the reason I'm not interested in what customers need is because, in my experience, customers quite often don't know what they need, which is why they've engaged us. Does that make sense? Now, why are we so interested in what they love? And the reason that we're interested in what they love is because that's what we need if we're going to keep these customers, is that little pull inside them that they don't really understand, that they can't really communicate to us, but it's what keeps them with us, even when things are maybe getting a little bit tough. Does that make sense? So why is it important that we give our customers what they love, that they stay with us? Now, I think the reason it's important that we keep our customers is because there's a statistic. It's 17 times more expensive to win a new customer than it is to keep an existing customer. But I think there's also a fallacy that persists, that because customers maybe are a bit of a pain in the bum sometimes, we can always just get better customers. Couldn't we? Things are going to be a bit better when we get better customers. Aren't they? They are. But the thing is, I've got a little bit of news for you, which is the customers that you have right now are the best customers you're ever going to have. The only better customers are the ones that you've already lost. Because the next customer, you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get them, and you're going to have to work a little bit harder to keep them. Because they're not going to be as imaginative as the customers that you've got now. They're not going to get you as quickly. They're not going to give you as much leverage as the customers that you've got right now. So it's important that we understand what customers love. Are you with me?
Yes.
You are. We're all committed now to finding out what customers love. Now, I've researched this. I read a fantastic book by Harry Beckwith called What Clients Love, and it didn't really tell me the answer. And then I Googled it, and then I couldn't really find the answer there, because, as it turns out, I don't think there's been any scientific study into what customers actually love. So what I thought is, if we had 60 people here this morning, we could do our own scientific study and establish for the first time in history, scientifically, what customers love. Because even though customers are a pain in the bum, aren't they? Aren't they a pain in the bum, customers? Yes, they are. We are all customers, aren't we? We buy cars, we buy coffee, we buy printing, we buy all sorts of things. So we are customers. So if there are 60 of us here, we can establish what customers love this morning. So I'm not here to tell you what customers love. I'm here to make the argument. I've got 10 contenders, and what we're going to do is establish our terms, and then we're going to have a vote, and then we're going to establish for the first time in history what customers love. Isn't this exciting? Glad you got here early this morning now. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I think of these terms, and then I'm going to offer it to you. We've only got 10 minutes to establish this, so we are under a little bit of pressure. Then I'm going to throw it to the floor. You can tell me what's important to you. Then we're going to establish the top 10 things in the right order of what customers love, and you guys are all going to go and make your customers love you from today onwards. I have clarity. Customers like to know what they're getting, when they're getting, how they're getting it. It's important that you are clear with your customers. They don't speak your language because they don't do what you do, or else they wouldn't come to you. So make it very, very clear to them. Are we agreed that customers love clarity?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anyone have anything to add to clarity, to my definition of clarity?
Transparency, so in terms of business and things, everything should be transparent.
Everything should be perfectly transparent. So clarity is on the list. Can I ask you to hold that up, please? Sorry, you're going to have to hold that up on this. I've got delivery. Now, I'm not talking about milkman and postman. We all deliver something, and how we deliver it is very important. So I'm interested in the way it gets delivered and the reporting that goes with it and the fact that it's delivered on time. Are we agreed that delivery is important and customers love delivery, good delivery? Does anyone have anything to add to that? Nothing. Can I ask you to hold that one? Thank you very much. A good deal. I'm not talking about being the cheapest, but I am talking about offering your customers a good deal. Does that make sense? Do we need to define that anymore? Value for money, absolutely. Customers don't want to feel like they're getting ripped off, I think is the main thing. So you don't need to be the cheapest, but you have to offer a good deal. Customers love a good deal. Is it on the list? Can I ask you to hold that up, please, Mike? A solution. Customers love a solution. Now what I'm talking about here is salespeople find it very difficult to stop selling. Have you ever found this? So when you say, yeah, I'm interested, they think this is going well and they carry on selling to you. So my example is a recruitment consultant that came to see me. I was desperate for staff, but she was desperate to talk to me about credit control. I wasn't looking for credit, I was looking for CVs. About an hour and a half later, she left. I understood her issue about poor credit, but she didn't understand my issue about I needed some staff. So I still don't have staff from that person today. So a solution is very important. Is that correct? Does anyone have anything to add to that? Meeting their requirement. Exactly. Meeting the customer's requirement. Can I ask you to hold that up? Exceeding expectations. Now this is a given, this is a shoo-in, isn't it? Exceeding expectations. Is it important? Customers love it. Yeah, something extra. But when does it happen? When does somebody last exceed your expectations? Now in my business, I get somebody else to do something if I don't have the time or the energy or the inclination to do it. But I hate to do it because I run my business and I think I'm the best person to do everything. And rarely does it happen that somebody exceeds my expectations. So this makes it onto the list. Thank you, Jodie. Communication. I think this is what you're talking about. When I talk about communication, I'm talking about listening. I'm talking about actually finding out about what the customers love. That's what I'm talking about. And how often does it happen? How often does it happen that you're talking to a supplier and they're actually understanding what's going on, they're actually listening. They're talking about their new deal or their new offering or their last best customer. So when I talk about communication, I'm talking about listening. Now the other thing, the statistic, 67% of your customers leave you. Do you know why? Because you don't talk to them. 67%. You work so hard to get that customer and then 67% wander away because you stopped talking to them. And they don't think you love them, so they don't love you anymore and they're gone. You hold that? Leadership. Does anyone else have anything else to offer on communication? Leadership. When I talk about leadership, I'm talking about your clients have engaged you, they brought you in because you know something they don't. So if you roll over and just do what they want and what they need, then you're not giving them what they actually love. So leadership is critically important. Does anyone have anything to offer on leadership? Guidance. Absolutely. You know better, or else they wouldn't employ you. Sure that they do what's good for them rather than what they think is good for them or what they want to be good for them. Mr. Wadey. Relationship. Clients love relationship, don't they? They need someone they can confide in. They can say to somebody, I'm really in trouble, I really need you to help me out. Now the best relationship I had with a client, he used to phone me at 6 o'clock and say to me every day, come and get your effing guys off my site. And I'd say to him, I'm coming to get my effing guys off your site, and that's the way that relationship worked. When he got into trouble, or when I got into trouble, we knew we could phone up and swear at each other and it would get sorted out because we had a relationship. It's important to me that I'm on swearing terms with my customers. Relationships, very important. Accountability. How important is it that when things are going wrong, someone will just say to you, you know what, that's not right. That's not the way that we like to do things, and we're sorry, and we'll do something to put it right. How important is that? That's important to me. How often does it happen? Very rarely. Accountability needs the +1. We did this terrible thing, we'll compensate you for that, and we'll do something to make it up to you because we want you to love us. That's accountability. Does anyone have anything to offer on accountability? Nothing. Thank you, Paul. So, the 10th thing that I have is a quiet life. Who doesn't love a quiet life? Does it need anything more in the way of definition? But I'm talking about getting the invoices right, or invoicing when you say you're going to invoice, or call when you say when you're going to call, or deliver what you say you're going to deliver. But please, don't put anything else on my plate. I don't need that. I'm running a business. I've got 40 things on my to-do list for this morning. I'm looking for a quiet life. Right, so those are my 10 contenders. Are we all in agreement that they are good contenders? Can we hold them up a little bit? Right, so what do you have over here? Clarity. So we currently have clarity in 10th position. Is that in the right position, do we think? Or does it need to go higher?
Higher.
Higher for clarity. Higher than delivery?
No.
Higher than a good deal?
Yes,
Higher than a
yes,
solution?
yes.
Higher than a solution?
Yep.
Right, so we can move those three across. This one comes in at number 7 then. Got to make it clear what you're doing. That's why we want clarity. So is it the most important thing? Do people think we can? Right, so in at 9th position we have a good deal. Is that right, at 9th position? No, it needs to go higher. Higher! How high does it need to go? Higher than a solution? Higher than clarity? Higher than exceeding expectations?
No.
No?
No, lower.
About lower than... Right, so a good deal comes in lower than exceeding expectations.
No, it doesn't.
Everything's going to end up being 7th if you carry on. Right, a solution is currently in 8th place. Oh, we've got delivery still. Delivery's in 10th position over here. Is that in the right place? No. So it needs to go higher. Yes. On what is? Okay. You deliver bespoke events, so it will be a solution. Okay. It's getting complicated, isn't it? So, is this why no one's done a scientific study? It's just too hard to work out what customers love. Right, so maybe if we work from the bottom, of these 10 things, what is the most important? What is number 1 most important?
Relationship.
Relationship is number 1. So we'll give that to Paul. Okay, what is the second most important thing?
Communication.
Communication. Okay, communication. Communication comes in at number 2. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, the third most important thing? Leadership is in the right place. The fourth most important thing?
Exceeding expectations.
Exceeding expectations. You guys live in a fantasy world. Okay, the fifth most important thing?
Delivery.
Delivery. Where is delivery? In at 10. Okay, that's more important than a good deal, you're telling me?
Yeah.
Customers don't know what they want or need. That's what it's down to now. So a good deal. Right, so where are we? We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. In 6th position.
Clarity.
Clarity. So you can give someone a good deal without being clear about what they want. But communication's in at number 2. Okay? In at number 7.
A solution.
We happy with a good deal in at number 7?
Not really, no. Because we've had some.
Not really. It needs to go higher. It needs to go higher. Accountability in at number 8. Are we happy with that?
I'm sorry to hate to spoil it, but actually I don't think we can do this because each of my clients would fit differently into the model.
Okay.
I think we need an extra car.
So they all need to go at number 1.
Well, for each client,
They're all as important as each other.
What you need is an extra car with
They're quite like. It's not actually in the rating at all, right? So, if you get all this right, you get a quiet life. You can have So, I think. Thank you very much. So we're not getting to a solution. We've got no clarity. I've tried to demonstrate leadership. But the point is, I think that all of these things are critically important. And really, are they that difficult to achieve? You know, they just need to be at the front of your mind. So you're thinking about offering leadership, you're thinking about accountability, you're thinking about solutions, you're thinking about a quiet life. And I think what happens when we market to our customers, well, it just doesn't happen. Because we think some kind of hoodoo's gone on if they're buying from us, so we just leave that alone. Is that right? It's what happens, but it's not right for definite. So what I would ask you to do is think about these issues because they are critically important, as we've all established, and you can't prioritise them. But if you can achieve some of this stuff, then your customers will love you and they will stay with you through thick and thin. Yes?
I'd just like to make the point that if you don't have clarity of the answer, then it's how you can fulfil.
I know, this lady down the front also thinks that.
Good.
Okay, so that's me and what maybe customers might love. Thank you very much.
Martin, great, thank you. That was a lot of fun and hugely interesting. What I took away from that most was exceeding customer expectations. How can we exceed customer expectations so they're in the open market talking about our business and our companies alike? I came across this